When you access Azure Files through the Azure portal, you have two primary ways to authenticate: Microsoft Entra ID or the storage account access key. The portal automatically selects the method based on your permissions, but you can manually switch between them if needed. As mentioned, your ability to access Azure file share depends on the roles and permissions assigned to you. Most permissions are controlled through Azure role-based access control. If you want to use Microsoft Entra ID to access Azure files, you need a built-in or custom role that provides file data access, and at least the Azure Resource Manager reader role at the storage account level or higher. The reader role allows you to view storage account resources but does not grant access to data. To access file data, you need a role that includes Storage File Data Privilege Reader or Storage File Data Privilege Contributor. These roles provide read, write, delete, and modify permissions for Azure file shares, but modifying ACLs or NTFS permissions isn't supported via the Azure portal. If you don't have the necessary role, you will see an error message when attempting to access files using Microsoft Entra authentication. Another way to access Azure file is by using the storage account access key. To do this, you need a role that includes list key action. The built-in role that provide this permission include reader and data access, storage account contributor RBAC role, Azure Resource Manager contributor role, Azure Resource Manager owner role. If you have a role that allows listing storage account keys, the Azure portal automatically uses the access key for authentication. If you don't have the required permission, the portal will fall back to Microsoft Entra authentication. If the storage account is locked with a read-only lock, you won't be able to list keys, meaning you must use Microsoft Entra ID to access file data. Bottom line, you should use Microsoft Entra ID whenever possible for better security and role-based access control for Azure files. If you must use access key, ensure you have the right Azure role permissions. You should check and change authentication method at the file share level when necessary, and set Microsoft Entra authentication as the default to improve security and prevent overuse of access keys. By choosing the right authentication method, you ensure that Azure files remain secure and accessible only to the right users.